I'm Anthony from Learning to Play the Guitar. In this video I'm going to teach you how to play the song Vincent, Starry, Starry Night by Don McLean. This song is about the artist Vincent van Gogh, and the title Starry, Starry Night comes from one of his paintings. This piece of music is great to learn if you want to develop your finger picking technique on the guitar. This is a finger picking tune, so here I'm going to use my thumb, index, middle and ring fingers to pluck the strings, also labelled as P, I, M, A as we go along. Generally my thumb will be hitting the E, A and D bass notes. My index will pluck the G string, my middle finger will pluck the B string, and my ring finger will be plucking the bottom E string down the bottom there, so string number 1. There will be a few little exceptions to this as we go along. We'll start off, of course, with the first verse. So here we have this little melody copying the singing of Starry, Starry Night, which is a 0-2-0-2 hammer, or D-E-G-A. So we're going to go. So I'm going to use my second finger to play both of those hammered notes, and thumb, index. First chord is G. I'm basically going to start off with my version of G here with the third finger on top, my little finger on the bottom, number 3 fret. I'm not going to worry too much about pressurizing the fret 2 as I might normally do on the A string, because I'm actually not going to play that string at all. So the first pattern here, following the tab, and you'll note how my thumb will jump down and grab the D string, index on the G, ring finger on the bottom string. So the first two double plucks, is middle and thumb, thumb, index, ring. The next chord is the same picking, but we're adding this number 1 C note in here, making it a G sus4, but the same picking pattern. Which is that. Same picking pattern for chord number 3, which is a G6, which just basically means we take everything off except for the bass G note. So it's just only one finger there on the fretboard, but the same string, same finger picking. Which is that. Next little bit, again, still G related. I've got my little finger now on the 3D note on the B string. I'm going to pluck that and the G bass note. Same fingers again, middle and thumb. Thumb, open D string. Now we're going to jump to an A minor shape into this bar. Middle finger on the C note, which is the second string. Number 1, thumb on the number 2, following the tab convention. I think that's the easiest way to do this. Continuing on, next bar is A minor. I'm going to go 0-2-2-0, following the tab there, or picking wise. Thumb, thumb, index, ring, because that's his job on the bottom string. More A minor stuff continuing, but we have a little hammer, and he does a few of these throughout the song, where we're going to do the little 0-1 hammer with the bass note on the A string at the same time. So middle finger doing that second string, again, that's his job. So thumb and middle, thumb, index, middle. Lose the finger off there, sorry. Then the next bar continues, similar idea. Thumb. Now I'm going to pluck the E string on the bottom with my ring finger. More A minor, but first finger has a little break. 2 zeros. Again, those 2 fingers. Thumb, 1, 0. G with my index, because that's his job. Going to a C chord now. Thumb, thumb, index, ring on the bottom. First finger off for a C major 7, so I've got 2 notes together, a 3 and a 0, a C and a B. Thumb, index, ring, jumping to D7, almost at the end of the main verse pattern. We have a D7. Now thumb will come down the D string, thumb, index, middle, ring, just that D7 shape. 0-2-1-2, little 0-2 hammer on the bottom string, make it a little bit interesting with the bass note. Index, middle ring on the number 1, 0 G, anticipating a little 1 finger G chord at the turnaround, which is. And then we're back to that little D-E-G-A 0-2 hammer melody, and we do that a second go round. So then when we get to this end of the second half of the verse, after we loop all that again, we end up with this little fill of G stuff. There's a couple of ways of doing it. I'll do it this way. Since I'm holding this position, you can have the third and the little finger down the bottom to go this way with the pair of threes, thumb and ring finger down the bottom, thumb, middle, index, so just the G thing. And then we've got 1 and 2, little slidey fill here. He does a few of these in the song and little variations of that. 1, 2, slide back, pull off to the open strings. You could also do the G the other way, but the whole thing would be. And that's taking us into the chorus, which is the next section. So each chorus he plays is slightly different, mainly at the start and at the end of them, but the guts of the chorus is sort of the same. So the start of the first chorus is G chord. You can either go regular G like this or the other G if you're more comfortable with that. Either one is fine for me here. I'll go with this way just to vary it up a bit. Again, I'm not worrying about the number 2 fret so much here because I'm not going to play it. So G, I've got a triple pluck. Use the 1, 2, 3 fingers, thumb, and then you can thumb down here, or you could use your index on that D string as well. So this way. And then jump to the 3D, E string on the bottom. Yep, and again that was sort of the 1, 2, 3 fingers doing the bottom 3 strings for all that picking there. So into the A minor, I'm going to go double thumb, next bit. Open string, this hammer guy again with the bass note. Little finger on the 3D, on the B string, E string down the bottom. That was a little melody there, hinting, sort of doubles the vocal melody slightly there. Then we're into D7. With a little melody there, just following the tab. Again, my thumb is dancing around between the A and the D strings. We have a G chord related thing, but all we need is one finger. So I'm just going to use my third finger on the 3G bass note, and I'm going to go thumb, index, middle, ring, saving the thumb jumping. The next guy is G, F sharp in the bass. Fret 2 bass note basically was walking down on the bass. E string, just mixing it up. E minor, I'll use fingers 2 and 3 in this case. So I'm going to go thumb, thumb, index on G, ring on the bottom. Now I want to add that 3D note. Again, my little finger, thumb, and my middle finger on the B string. Thumb, E2, ring, first finger C. Make it a bit clearer. Now jumping to an A minor, an A minor 7, just a 2-finger version of A minor here. Thumb and middle middle finger on the number 1. Thumb, index, which is that. First finger off. Little hammer there. Open G. And note how I'm hanging on to this number 2 to let that ring out throughout. Now into the D7 bar. With a finger missing on the bottom initially, stick it down. E minor here, it can be fingers 2 and 3 or 1 and 2, whatever you prefer. This is where he says free in the lyrics. Little pause here, and then the tail end of the chorus, an A7, I'll use fingers 2 and 3, and again the thumb will move around while the bottom 3 fingers are dealing with the bottom 3 strings. Like so. A minor 7, the magic of this is we just replace fret 2 with fret 1 with my first finger. Similar start. Jump into D7, the first finger's already there. There's a little hammer, 0, 2 on the bottom. Finger off, 0, and then G, you can go 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 fingers. I'll go 2 and 3 for the moment though. Again, same rules of thumb dancing and the bottom 3, doing the bottom 3 strings. Little melody, 0, E string, 3D. So you saw how the thumb was jumping from the E string to the D string there. Then we're back to verse 2. Back to the G again. second verse is basically the same as the first verse in terms of the guitar, except for the very end of it. So the end of verse 2, which does that little loop around twice, we have to get into chorus 2, of course. So the end of this is a little bit different. So if we're at the end of verse 2, we're going to go into chorus 2. So I'm going to go from that D7 bar, which I did in the demo just before. So here's the D7 again, same as previously. Then we're going to jump to our G, which is going to be this. So similar to the other one, but slightly different. The triple pluck, bass note, middle finger, index on the two, the B and the G strings there. Then we have this little slidey thing, which is similar to earlier but different. Now I understand is the words here. And this follows those lyrics. So we've got a 0, hold a little 1-2 hammer, slide it, 3-4, and then pluck the zeros. Thumb and my middle finger doing that. So I'll do that whole thing. So it'll be, yeah. Now I understand into the A minor. Actually, at chorus 1, it does sound like he could be doing that as well. You can mix and match this pattern a little bit between chorus 1 and chorus 2. That's quite fine. Into the A minor after that will be exactly the same as the other choruses, etc., etc. Same as the rest of chorus 1, really. So the end of chorus 2, after the E minor chord, where it has a little pause, it's going to go into the bridge. So going into the bridge, giving it some context from the A7, A minor 7 again, which we've had done before in the last chorus, the D7 with a little 0-2 hammer. Then we're going to jump into the bridge, which is where he says, now, for they could not, is the words on top of that. So what I'm doing there, if we're going from the D7, jump into the bridge now, which is the G, following that, now we've got it's sort of a transitional A minor thing, but it's really just one finger on the 3D. A little bit like Blackbird by the Beatles, but different. A GB combo there. Then we're into regular A minor, with the thumb dancing again. Little finger on the 3D. Comes off D7, open G, so it's similar to the chorus but just a little bit different. Then we have this walking down thing again, but a bit more fancy and comprehensive. A couple of ways of doing it. One is 3 and 4 fingers, or you can go 2 and 3. It's whatever's easiest. If I'll go 3 and 4 for the moment, keeping that consistency. It's watching the double plucks and the dancing thumbs. Then we go 0 and a 2, which is the F sharp bass note. E minor can be again 1 and 2 fingers or 2 and 3 as long as it works. Again, dancing thumb will do a triple pluck here. Index, double pluck, thumb dance, ring, index on the G, and where no hope was A minor was left inside as a little pause to the sad bit. C minor, great chord there. Starry Night, and then we go back to finger picking. A couple of bar chords here. G, but just the bass end of it. You can go thumb, thumb, pair, or you can go thumb, index, pair. I like the thumb, thumb, pair. Jump to F, same thing. E7, which is fingers 1 and 2 with a 3D added, can be third, or my little finger is probably easier, I think, on the 3D down the bottom there on the B string. I'll do double thumb here. Thumb, thumb, index, middle pair, ring finger, does a little dance. 2 zeros there, and then ring finger back to the 3D, index, middle finger, sorry, on the GB strings there, filling in as we prep to an A-7. Dancing thumbs on A-7. Thumb moves, thumb, middle, index on the G string, C chord, sort of similar but different, thumb, thumb, C major 7, lose a finger. Again, my thumb is doing most of the moving. Now D7. It'll pull off there on the 2-0, but a bit slower than the quick grace note ones from earlier on. And then end of this bridge section, G, but I'll definitely go fingers 3 and 4 here to facilitate the next little part coming up. Again, thumb does the moving around. So the magic of that is I can hang on to this G bass note and add this little C-G combo there with the pairs as you just saw with my thumb moving. A bit more G next bar. And starry, starry. And that takes us into the last verse. Yeah, so now in verse 3, the first half of verse 3 is the same as the other previous verses. The second time, though, it is slightly different. So in the second half of verse 3, the final verse, there is a bar of 2-4 to sort of fit the lyrics. There's a little sort of chopped part where he says ragged men in ragged clothes, which takes you to A minor 2 beats earlier than it would have previously done in the other verses. So it's a little bit odd. So I'm going to play the second half of verse 3, going from the word strangers that you've met, which is that little melody he uses for Starry, Starry Night again, but obviously different words. So we've got strangers that you've met. Now we go to a G. Again, these fingers 3 and 4 used to play the G chord, similar, but we're going to change it in a second. So same picking from the start. Number 1 C note joins the party, but then it's E string on the bottom, so my little fingers come off. Now this is a little half bar, ragged men in. So I've done a little 3-0 D 3D, and then ragged closes straight to the A minor. Hammer time. So in the other verses he actually handles it a little bit differently. So I'll do that one more time. So this is strangers that you've met. Little finger off down the bottom. Ragged 3D men in A minor now. Ragged close. And continue on now. Little 2-0 melody variation there. C. C major 7. D. Again, that was thumb moving on the A and the D strings, the bottom 3 fingers maintaining their jobs. And that's taking us into the final chorus, which again has a slightly different intro to the other 2 choruses. So now when we get to chorus 3, the start is a little bit different to the other 2 choruses, and obviously there's an ending coda which is added as well, and there's a couple of little variations throughout, but it's, I say, 80% the same as the others, but we'll do the whole thing. Here we go, final chorus. I'm going to go G related again, but this way. So I've got a pair, B, G, and I've got a 0, and a slide to a 3, 4, and I've got an open pair of B, E strings down the bottom. So I'll do it again. Is that. Now we're into A minor, similar as before. Doing that thing, D7. 2-0, walk down with those G and F sharp bass notes. E minor again, fingers 2 and 3. 3D note, and then that was the 3 and the 1 underneath. My E bass note there, and then we're A minor 7ing it, 1 and 2 here. 0. Little hammer, D7 with the finger missing on the bottom, add them in. E minor, which is free again, and the final bit, A7. A minor 7, D with a little 0-2 hammer on the bottom. 0, the final bit. I'm going to use fingers 3 and 4 again because we're going to dance around a bit on a 1C in a second. Here we go. 1C, and then final use of the melody there, G. And that's all the bits of the song. Subscribe to the Learning to Play the Guitar YouTube channel for more lessons, and don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications when I upload a new video. You can also check out my books and more lessons at my website learningtoplaytheguitar.net. Thanks for watching and keep practicing.